Hello, hello. I'm so excited to get started. I just want to make sure that the live is working before I dive in and teach all of the things. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're live. If you're here in the chat, go ahead and use the chat. I have that up. I'm here to answer any Airtable questions you have, and I'm so excited to share with you today the exact setup I use for organizing my coaching clients and group program students all in Airtable. Now, my audio might be a little funky. Sorry about that, but we're rolling with it today. Yes, okay, people are in the chat. Amazing, amazing. Now, before we dive into the actual screen share, I literally pulled my Airtable hub that I've been using to manage my group coaching clients for literally the last 3 years. I took that, I scraped all the data, I removed any identifying stuff. So I'm literally going to show you exactly the setup and the Airtable setup that I use. So if you're a person that likes an Airtable demo or just likes to see software, I'm totally going to get into that. But I have some slides that I just wanted to share with you beforehand, just so we kind of are all on the same page about what is an Airtable Client Hub? Why would you even need one? All of those things. So I'm going to pull that up. And as I'm going, if you're here live, drop a note in the comments, because at the end of this, we're going to do a drawing for everybody that's here live and is a subscriber. We're going to give you you're going to be entered to win a free spot in our upcoming workshop. So our upcoming workshop is called Setting Up Your Sales Hub in Airtable, but we have a bunch of other resources, Airtable resources and workshops as well. So you can get a spot into the upcoming workshop, or you can use that credit to one of the past workshops. So very fun. So if you're here live, definitely go ahead and comment. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Share screen window. Fantastic. Okay. I think I'll be able to see that. Also, it's going to be very meta. There's a lot of my face in this, so you're welcome. Okay, so the biggest question that I get about just why do you need a client hub? What is it? Really, what your Airtable client hub is going to be? It's one place where everything about your clients lives. So all of your onboarding forms, your call notes, their wins, onboarding, offboarding dates, everything is going to be right inside of Airtable. This is a question I get all the time from folks who are new to my world, which is, I feel so overwhelmed with so many tools. How is Airtable any different, and what makes it so great? It seems like it could just be another tool to learn, but not helpful. Genuine question from an overwhelmed solopreneur. So that's super normal. And then we also get a lot of people asking, I'm in the process of shifting from my live classes on Eventbrite to putting them into recordings on Thinkific or Kajabi or Circle. Why do I need Airtable? Can't these programs do everything? A lot of these say that they're all-in-one platforms. So why do I need Airtable if I'm using a course platform, if I'm using a contract software, anything like that, right? So before your Airtable Client Hub, before you even manage any Airtable data inside, any of your client data inside of Airtable, you're probably managing things in a lot of different spreadsheets, or looking at your Thinkific active students, and you never actually know what's accurate or up to date. And you're keeping a lot of the client progress all inside of your head, or your team members are having to ask you about special exceptions you've been granting clients in the past. And just a lot of historical notes about your clients are really either living in your Gmail, in your notes, in a Slack message from a team member months ago, right? And you're barely keeping up with the current clients that you have, and the thought of doubling or tripling or even 10xing your clients feels really hard to do. And before your Airtable Client Hub, this is something that I see all of the time, is that you're just keeping track of all of your clients in very random spreadsheets, Google Forms, ClickUp, your all-in-one platform. And it really makes sense, especially if you're growing a group coaching program, or you have multiple one-on-one clients, or a mastermind, or a membership. You just actually don't have a central source of truth to track all of your clients, where they're at in your program. And that's a problem as you grow. Your spreadsheets are trash. This is my controversial take. I hate spreadsheets. I'm a systems girl who uses 0 spreadsheets in my business. You cannot scale a 6-figure group offer or membership or one-on-one clients with spreadsheets. If you have, congrats. YouTube comments love to come at me in the chat. If you have, great, but it's been harder than it needs to be. And Airtable makes it so easy to keep track of all your clients. And I'm going to show you what that looks like today. So like I said, your all-in-one platforms are just lying to you. You really need Airtable regardless of whatever course platform you're on. And ClickUp is your to-do list, not your client hub. So that's why you still feel unorganized when you try to manage client records and profiles inside of something like Asana or ClickUp. It's simply not built for that. I have other YouTube videos going really deep into why ClickUp isn't a good database system and why it's not the place to manage your client data. But we'll get into that in another video. And a lot of people mention Notion. Notion is pretty, but it's not nearly as powerful as Airtable. It disguises itself as a database, but you quickly wish you ran your group program or your one-on-one coaching offers on Airtable. So to use Notion for other things, don't use it for what I'm about to show you today. Because there is just so many moving parts to a group program, mastermind membership, or one-on-one offer, right? You have your checkout page, your community group, mass emails, curriculum, event calendars, individual emails, your course platform, forms, so feedback forms, onboarding forms, Q&A call forms. Like there are so many moving parts to a group program, and it can get scattered really fast. And so to manage all those moving pieces, what you really need is a centralized database. So Kajabi is not a database. Kartra is not either. Neither is ClickUp. Neither is spreadsheets. Notion isn't. Airtable is the only database solution you should be looking at. And it is truly the missing link to your coaching business operations. So I'm so excited to share like literally what this looks like today. But Airtable doesn't really replace as much as it connects. It is going to replace any of the spreadsheets you use to manage your group program, but it's not going to replace things like your email marketing system, your course platform, your community group, your contract, like sending things. It's not going to, your checkout platform, it doesn't replace those, but it's going to house a lot of that data. And most people overcomplicate their Airtable setups, or they just use it like a glorified spreadsheet. That's why it's so important to work with an expert instead of just starting from scratch inside of Airtable. So I'm so excited you're here watching this video so you can see kind of how it should be set up, because there's very particular foundational ways Airtable should be set up for a group coaching offer, or just coaching offers in general, for it to really work and grow with you. Airtable is also free to get started with. I run my entire business out of Airtable, and I'm still only on the $24 a month plan. So it's one of the most affordable. It's one of the most affordable solutions that you could work with. So after setting up your Airtable Client Hub, you're going to have one central place where everything about your students and your clients live. So like one place to train your team, one place to go in the mornings to look at how your students are doing, right? Your team can answer any customer service questions that's thrown at them without having to ask you anything. And what I love about this is that you can really grow your group program and your coaching offers without feeling like you're far away from your clients, because all of their wins, all their struggles, and all of their results are at your fingertips. So you can help them better as their coach. So again, I'm going to show you the back end of Airtable, but I pulled a couple screenshots just so you can kind of get a good foundational understanding here. How you want to set up your Airtable if you're a coach is that you want one base per offer. So if you have a group program, if you have a self-study course, if you have a mastermind, if you have one-on-one clients, you have one Airtable base per offer. That's going to be just easier as you start to manage. Every different offer is probably going to have different deliverables that you have, different onboarding form questions, different results that you're tracking. So every single offer needs its own separate base. And then you are going to put everything about your clients in that hub. And I mean everything. So we've got their start and end date, their current client status, their upcoming payments, their onboarding form details, group call attendance, one-on-one call notes, client result submissions, support tickets, internal notes. As your program grows, you just get to house everything about it inside of Airtable. And again, I'm using the word program because that's what I'm used to helping people with, but this solution helps you with any coaching client offer. So one-on-one, group programs, masterminds, anything. Just checking the chat. I've done my share of soul searching for all-in-one, and honey, it ain't it. Airtable is it. Yes. We love Airtable over here. So what happens inside of Airtable, again, I'm going to show you the back end of my actual client one, but every part of your offer has its own little table inside of Airtable. So we have this primary student record. This is really where like the bulk of the magic happens. We'll walk you through that. But things like contracts, applications, onboarding forms, the call attendance, each one of those things has its own little separate table. And Airtable, you can build forms inside of Airtable. A lot of people don't know this. So no more Google Forms, death to Google Forms. You can build the forms right inside of Airtable. So you just have your onboarding forms, your call submission forms, your feedback reviews right inside of Airtable. So again, you have one central spot where all of this lives. So you're not having to go like hunt in your Google Drive and go find that Google sheet that's been gathering dust that has all of that amazing information about your clients, their onboarding stuff. That's all going to be like accessible at your fingertips. So then everything is linked back to the client's primary student profile. I'm going to show you what that looks like. I think I'm actually going to share my screen now to show you what my Airtable looks like, because we're kind of getting into that section. So let me share screen window. Let's see. This is live. This is so fun. Okay, cool. So this is my Airtable. This is an example of my Airtable. So you'll see in here, like I mentioned, every student that comes into my group program, they get what's called a primary student record. So you'll see, of course, this is all dummy data, but this is student 1. Their status is active. This is their email. We've got their start date. We see the initial days of program access. There's a formula field that's automatically calculating their end date here. So they started at 10/19/2023. They'll end October 18th, 2024. So then we're already, this data is amazing to have, because a lot of us do not know when our actual students are graduating. I'll show you cool things you can do with that data in a second. So you have like all of the kind of standard information, and you'll see this like little grayish box here. What this is it's a link to another table. So this is like linking to the student's onboarding form. So I can pop this open and I can see that person's, all of their onboarding answers. So again, all of this is a client record. You can pop it open and see everything about your student in one central spot. So this is something that so many coaching programs and coaching clients, we just don't have this data and records about them. We have, if you do bonus delivery, like all of the forms that we have, we can really just organize everything inside of here. And what you can do with this data, which is really interesting, is, and I'm going to just show you some fun stuff really quick. I'm going to do first name, last name, status, email, and onboarding form. So we've got this, right? We could filter this, and I want to say, I want to see who are students that haven't filled out their onboarding form yet. So if I filter this where onboarding form is empty, here's all my students who haven't filled out our onboarding form. Again, it would take, if you don't have Airtable and you're just relying on Google Forms and stuff, it takes you a lot longer to just find and filter this information, right? It's going to take you way longer. But you have this. So that's everybody who hasn't filled out their onboarding form. But then we can also say, let me refilter, and we'll say where onboarding form is not empty. Here's everybody's onboarding forms. And we can do things like date onboarding form was filled out. What we can do is we can like look up from the onboarding form and we can see their date created. So this is like, we can just see, okay, they joined. Let's see, I can pull up start date. So like cool to see, like this person joined on the 19th, they're filling out their onboarding form on the 20th. Like we can just like start to see very like our onboarding form is working. Like people are filling this out, things are working. So it's really cool to just start to play around and see that data. What happens when you start to organize all of your data in one central spot inside of Airtable, any question you have about your clients can be answered. So if you want to see what's the average amount of time it takes for people to fill out their onboarding form, you can find that answer in a second. No like exports, no like crazy reports. It's just all right there for you. I'm going to check here. If you have any questions as I go, please let me know. I'm in the chat. Yes. Yes. Aaron said, oh my God, I'm not using the lookup field to my advantage. Yes. I'm going to show you some other cool things you can do with lookup fields in a second. So we have the primary student record. This is like really where you can play with so many things. Then we have our onboarding form table. So like I mentioned, you can just build your onboarding forms right inside of Airtable. We're actually going to have another YouTube live all about how to use forms in Airtable. There's different ways you can build different forms inside of Airtable, but essentially all of the information is right here. So all of the information is here. So when you do have all the information centralized, Airtable has a really cool thing called interfaces. So you can take the data that is in the back end of your onboarding form and you can create an onboarding form trends dashboard. So this is something else that you can build, which we'll also be doing a YouTube live about interfaces. But we have like, okay, in my program, people's lowest program price is $99, the average is $3,000, and the highest is $1,950. Half of them launch evergreen, half of them do cart open, cart close. We just get to see all of this data here, right? So again, one central place where all of this information lives. It's so amazing to see and to play with. So we have this as well. So that's another amazing way to use the data inside of Airtable. I'm literally going table by table. I think this is going to be it's very nerdy and very specific, but I think it's really cool for folks who are already maybe using Airtable but aren't using it as effectively as they could, just to see all of the different ways that I use it in my own business. So if you have group calls, something that's really cool that you can do, which a lot of people don't know about, is you can actually sync your Google Calendar in here. So you create the calls inside of Google Calendar, and then automatically all of your calls are now right inside of Airtable. So that happens automatically. Then you can do cool things like when you're on the call. I'm going to show you a cool lookup field thing right now, actually. So what we're going to do, we're going to say attendance, right? So here's our attendance. And let's say I'm taking attendance for this call that happened. Let's just do this one on 12/19, which is obviously in the past. But you can take attendance on the call. So student 3, these are the students that came live. And on this call, here's the students that came live. So again, every moving piece about your clients gets managed in Airtable very, very easily, and it gets linked back to that primary student record. If we go into our primary student record, I'm going to go here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say last call submitted, or last call attended. What you can do is use lookup field. I know someone in the chat said they're not using lookup field effectively. This is a really cool way to use it. Is you can go to, calls, and we're going to say start. And I want to see the last call that they attended. So we can see this, right? So we can see the last time student 1 came was February 6, 2024. But what about number of calls? I want to see the number of calls attended. Count. There's a count field. And we can go into the calendar. You can see, student 1 has attended 2 calls, and the last call that they attended was February 6th. So this is cool information to have on the back end, right? Like really helpful to see what's going on. But something else that Airtable does, again, because the data is all centralized, there's a lot we can do with it. So because we now know this, we could also set up an automation, because there's internal automations inside of Airtable that you can use without having to use Zapier or without having to use a third-party system. But you can create an automation that says 30 days since attended Q&A, candid call, send email. This takes 2 seconds to set up, but it's really cool to see, really cool to do. So we're going to say in their primary student record, when the last call attended is number of days ago is 30 days ago, then send an email. And you pick your Gmail account, you put their email right in there, and you say, we miss you, or something, right? So you set up this automation, and then every time automatically they haven't been to a call in 30 days, it will email them and check in on them. This is so important as you are growing your business and as you have more clients. You can do this for any type of check-in. So if they haven't submitted a feedback form, if they've been in the program for 30 days and they haven't submitted their onboarding form, like whatever you've got, this will really, really like help you. So that's another thing as we're going kind of down the list of all of the things that Airtable helps me do with managing my group program. It feels so good to have that, because it just makes like my people feel taken care of. And I set up the automation once, and I know that like we're checking in on them, and it's amazing. So that's something else that you can do inside of Airtable. Let me look at the comments, how we're doing here. Let's see. Yeah, someone said, I can't wait for interfaces. Let's see. Okay, this is a great set question. Someone said, if I have a list similar to this, but it's on Google Sheets, can I migrate the documents from Google Sheets to Airtable? Yes, and do it ASAP. You want to do it because what Google Sheets can't do is it can't do this linking. It can't link all of the things together. So a lot of the Google Sheets live in silos, and if you're an spreadsheet expert, maybe it can, but like it's not as easy as Airtable is. So for sure, if you have it in Google Sheets, you can just do a quick import and start from there. Let's see. Let's see. This is, I have a client who has 1,468 people who they need to see who are not partnered with the organization or who are in the system more than once. Can Airtable solve for things like that? So that's a lot of people, and it really depends. Airtable's interfaces have gotten a lot better with like view-only things, and it would depend on the permission. So that might be something, if you have those questions, you can DM me on Instagram or email us. I'm at clients@systemsoverstress.co, and we can play with that. But for sure, most likely, Airtable is going to be the great place, and they have a lot of different ways you can share views. So like you can create a filtered view and you can share it with people. So lots of different ways that you can visualize and share the information without like giving them the entire base, if that makes sense. Let's see. Jamar says that last call attended would be good for me. I could send an engagement message based on that. Absolutely. And then Britt says, I didn't realize I don't even track attendance. That would be super helpful for evaluating feedback. Exactly. Yeah, there's just so much stuff that we do with our coaching clients that it's like really helpful to just kind of house it all in one central spot. All right. So that's that. Let me see what else I have for you guys. I have so many things for you, honestly. So something that we also do is we have a support ticketing system. So I have a group program. It's called Systems Over Stress, and it is an Airtable. It's teaching this. So this is a lot of the overview. And if you're like, I absolutely want to learn how to do this, I need this set up for my coaching offers. There are links in not the show notes. There's links in the description to get started with that. We have a masterclass that goes even deeper. But we have a support ticketing system inside of our group program. And we have, so you can use Airtable forms totally, but there's also a thing called fill out, and it makes prettier forms. So we sometimes use that. But our clients will submit a support ticket. They can select their name from the dropdown. They can pick a question type. They pick like a 3 to 5 word summary. What's the question? How have you best tried to troubleshoot this on your own? Any Loom videos, any screenshots, anything like that. They submit that to us, and then they get an automated email from Airtable that says, hey, we've got your support ticket. Thanks so much for submitting it. We'll evaluate it and we'll get back to you. So we have that set up. And then what's cool is that all of the support tickets come into Airtable, right? So me and my team, we go right into Airtable, and let me see this. Let's see. So we come right in here, and I'm going to stop sharing for a second, just double check that there's no client data in this before I share it. Stop the share. But basically, you have this back-end database where you can do client reviews, and you can do this for anything. Actually, this looks great. Okay, I'm going to share this. Window. Cool. So this is the back end of Airtable. So like we have the data kind of in the not boring. All data is interesting, but it's like all the data is back here, right? So this is a standard like Airtable grid view, but Airtable now has amazing interfaces that just make it easier to look at. So you can see here, this would be all of our outstanding tickets. You can see the date that they submitted it, 24 hours after the submission, which is our deadline. Here's the question. And then our team answers it down here. So we just fill out the answer. And what's very cool is we just say it's live in the database, send an email to the client, and then it will automatically send an email to the client and then update it that the email has been sent. So my team just comes in here to answer support tickets. So like until it's inbox 0, like they just do it and they keep moving on. So, and we have like a space for like internal notes and comments. So this is how we can create features in our program that increase the value of the program like crazy. like they have a custom Airtable support. Like Airtable doesn't have a great support chat feature anyway. So we basically are that for them, but it's really easy and scalable on our team. And what's great about this is that we actually have a support ticketing database that then the answers, like all of the answers live in one spot, which we'll share that in any other YouTube live. I don't want to share that here. But we can manage our support tickets, or if you are a YouTube coach, perhaps, and you have YouTube channel reviews, like you can submit the people can submit the YouTube channels for review to get their feedback. You just have one place to look, so you're not dealing with like having to send them the emails of the things that you've done for them and all of that stuff. So very cool. And again, because all of that data is centralized in Airtable, you can also create dashboards and see that there's been 12 tickets submitted this week. The shortest response time was an hour. The average is 25. The longest was 62. Student 101 has submitted 5 tickets this week. Like you can literally see all of this data, which is so cool. Again, a lot of us have this data, but we don't have it in a place like Airtable to really look at it or analyze it. And so we just feel like we don't get to see as much. I hope this has been helpful. I still have some more things I'd be happy to show y'all, but let me check the comments really quick. Yes. Internal notes area is amazing. And what's so great about Airtable is that it is so customizable to all of our different programs. We all have different programs. We all have different ways that we handle the programs, features that we offer. And it's not a one size fits all solution, which is exciting. But as you're building it as a beginner, it can feel really overwhelming. And so that's why working with somebody like me and joining our group program or working with me one-on-one to set these things up really helps you kind of eliminate that learning curve. A lot of people stop working with Airtable because they get overwhelmed or something like that. And it's like, just keep, like, when you see the possibilities of what Airtable can do for you, it's really huge. Another thing that is totally kind of a little bit different that I'll show you is we also use it to keep track of our lessons and like the curriculum. I'm actually at a WeWork, which is why my audio sounds terrible. I'm sorry, but I'm doing a full like curriculum revamp of our group program, and I get to use my Airtable base, my Airtable client hub, to keep track of my curriculum. So you'll see like here is my welcome course. You'll see here I have the title of the lesson, the module, like the name. Let's see what else I have. Like the editable Thrivecart link, so I could go just right there and edit it as I go. It saves so much time when you're doing curriculum refreshes. But one of the things that I wanted to show you, which you absolutely should have if you don't already have it, something like this, is if you have lessons and you have curriculum, for the love of all things, put your video duration inside of Airtable. That way you can see like, okay, my welcome module is 2 hours, 3 minutes and 17 seconds. So that's like, you can see like, okay, here's all the videos. You can see the sum, but then you can see the average. So the average is 13 minutes and 42 seconds. So you can start to play with that. People ask you these questions. How long is your how long is your course? How long will it take me to get through it? And I can very clearly say like the average video is 13 minutes. Like here's how you can work through it. And really, really helpful to see. Something else that you can do, again, because everything is in Airtable, we have we actually share this with our clients, and we give them a kind of a cleaner view that is a 30-day completion plan. So this is filtered to say where we want this lesson to be in the 30-day plan, because there's so much that we teach, but not everything you have to set up right away. So we say like, okay, we want you to set up go through module 1. It's going to take you this amount of time. Here's a link to go straight to the lesson. And we kind of have we have the hidden, we have it shareable so people can see that. So that's really cool to have. And again, I use this when we're launching new lessons. In the back end of a status, I'll say, okay, it's ready to upload. And then my team will take the videos that I made and they'll put it into Thrivecart Learn for me. And they'll process it and then they'll update it and say it's live and ready to go. And so we're using this to handle our lesson production, but then we're also using it on the front facing of the client side to basically have a searchable database of all the lessons. Because some of the course platforms that we're on too, this is actually a real life scenario, is Member Vault is a lesson, it's a curriculum course platform that has an incredible searchable database, like searchable function. So you can type in the word like interface and it will show you every lesson where interfaces are mentioned. Learn doesn't have that. And I was like, damn, do I need to move to Member Vault because this is such a cool like feature for my clients? And I was like, no, actually, I don't need to do that yet. I might do it at some point, but I don't need to do it yet. And instead, I can have a searchable database through Airtable, so so clients can search that instead. So it's actually helping me like stay in the course platform that I'm in because it helps me like fill in the gaps, if that makes sense. Amazing. Let me check the comments. Yes. Erin said, oh, this I need. Yes, yes, yes. I am stoked. Yeah, let me know in the comments, like of all of the things that I'm showing you, what feels like the most exciting thing that you want to use and you want to implement in your own coaching business. I'd love to hear. Other things too, like worksheets and student templates. It's like everything about your offer, keep in one central spot. We have so many Google Docs and Airtable templates and Zapier templates that it's hard for my team to be like, what goes where? And so just having one central place where everything about your offer lives and everything about your client lives is really, really helpful and important to have. So we've got that. And then of course we have a client results tracking system. Let me share that as well. Fantastic. Oh, actually, I'll share this. So this, we have like a systems over stress stamp of approval directory. And again, this is something that like I dreamed about in my sleep. And I woke up and I was like, I know Airtable can help me build this. I am sure there are like cool features that you've thought to add to your coaching programs, but you're like, I don't know how it would work. When you have the foundations of something like this set up, it really makes everything easy. And you can just like pop up new features. You can build them in a day. So we had this feature that this is kind of like once people have gone through my program, this is kind of our client results tracker. We say, okay, great. Like you have set up your automated onboarding, offboarding, and reinsight systems. That's the point of this program. You can now submit for a stamp of approval, like SOS stamp of approval. They get a feature in our directory. When they're launching, we'll shout them out on their IG stories and do an email roundup, and then we'll like put them on the podcast. So we also, again, we manage this all inside of Airtable. So they put in their name, their email, their offer sales page, do you have an affiliate program, offer logo, and then we ask them questions about like, okay, like show us your onboarding form that you built, show us your results tracking form that you built, show us the metrics, like show off like how did you go through this program. Of course, I'm sure as you guys know, this is incredible for our case studies. It's incredible to just like prove that our program works and that people get through it. So there's just so much you can do with Airtable when it comes to managing your programs and making your programs even better. Someone asked, are there audio submission fields? So something that's cool about Airtable is that there's, an audio submission, you wouldn't be able to like upload an audio, like click that, but there is an attachment field and Google Sheets don't have that, right? So it can be any type of attachment and you can have this in a form. So they can browse files. Also, if they're using it, they can like take a picture if they're using it on their phone. So they can do that as well. Yes, the answer, all of it. Yes. All of it is amazing. And truly, there's just like so many cool things Airtable can do. Let me share one more thing. And then if you have any questions, we're about to wrap up. If you have any questions before we wrap up, let me know and I will be sure to answer them before we do our little giveaway. But I wanted to show you one other thing. I just want to make sure that it's all protected before I do it. Let's see. All right, perfect. This is exactly what I want to share with you. So fun. Oh my gosh, this is so nerdy. Thanks y'all for being here. I'm obsessed. This is great. So like I shared before, the primary student record is like where that is the hub for everything about your client. And when everything links to it, you can do cool things with count fields, with lookup fields, with rollup fields to like see the different data. But now that we have interfaces, Airtable also, we can use their interface called the record review to show the data in a really cool way. So like, here's all of your students, right? And you can see this person, there could be a headshot here. Their status is active. They have 35 days left in the program.
here's all their payment plans, here's their onboarding form, here's the number of support tickets that they've submitted, here's the number of support tickets that they've that should say the last date that they submitted, and then here's all of their support tickets. So this is really helpful for a number of reasons, but one of the biggest reasons is for customer service requests or concerns. I have clients sometimes who have clients that come to them and say, like, I'm not getting results in this program, or like, this isn't working for me. And you can pull up their client profile like this, and you can respond neutrally and with facts. And you can say, okay, you have 35 days left in the program. The last time you submitted a support ticket was September. I mean, this person submitted yesterday, so you can see they're active. But let's say they hadn't submitted something since February. It's like, you haven't submitted any support tickets. That's a really amazing resource to help you get results in the program. Go ahead and use that. Or if they say, like, I have one client who has coaches, like she has co-coaches, and sometimes people complain like, oh, there's co-coaches, but I came for you as the coach and not the co-coaches. And she was able to go into her Airtable and say, hey, we've had 47 calls over the last 3 months. I've been on 75% of them. You have gone to 11 of them. Like, she was like able to just like respond with all of the facts, because a lot of the time our clients just want to be like heard and like know that you're thinking about them, or that you are like keeping track of them, and they're not just like a numberless, nameless person in like a sea of your clients. And so having an Airtable client hub like this really, really, really helps you with that. So that is what I wanted to show you today. Just like a brief overview of exactly how I use Airtable to manage my coaching clients. And it might look overwhelming, but it's honestly, it's like pretty intuitive to set up especially if you have the support of me and my team. So a couple of different ways that you can work with me if you're interested. We have a group program where you can literally set all this stuff up in a weekend. I love when I see the people submitting support tickets over the weekend. And I'm like, they are busy. They are working and they are busy. So we have that. I'm just going to share what that looks like in the chat, or not in the chat. I'll share my screen really quick. And as I'm talking, so we have this option. So this is just like a total group program that you can go in on your own time, self-study, ask us questions as you'd like. You can totally set up the automated offboarding, onboarding, and re-sign systems of your group program and with our support. So we have that. And then if you would prefer a done for you option as well, then you can reach out to us and we can provide those options too. But that is what I wanted to share with you today. Please, if you liked this, go ahead and subscribe to us, because I'm in my YouTube Live era. Okay. I'm about to do so many YouTube Lives for y'all, and there's so much stuff that we're doing. I think we're doing interfaces or forms next week. So we'll do that. Super fun. And let's see. Yes, of course. I'm glad y'all liked it. And someone said, oh, okay, I was hoping for an audio submission like in Fill Out. We use Fill Out all the time, and you can, all of that data, that would just be an audio, that would just be an attachment field that goes into Airtable. So if you're using Fill Out and Airtable are like a match made in heaven. Yeah. People said, highly recommend the program. Such a great program. Thank you so much for that. Okay. I am going to pick a random person in the chat to, to win our spot in our workshop. So how is this going to work? Because Jamar, I think you're in the chat. I don't think we have a great, like a live broadcast system yet, but I am literally just going to close my eyes and I have the chat here, and I'm just going to, whatever cursor my thing goes on, it's going to win. So what you're going to win is a credit for one of our workshops. So you can pick the workshop that we have coming up on September 25th. That is a Set Up Your Sales Hub in Airtable workshop. So if you can use Airtable for client management, which is amazing. But we also really use it for all of our sales. So we automate all of our sales inside of Airtable. I've been doing this for 5 years now. And so I can see how my business has grown, and it like truly is broken up by, I can see like grouped by month and grouped by product and grouped by offer. It's really cool to see. So yeah, if you're here now, I'm seeing that there's some people. Go ahead and put your name in the chat so you're entered for the little giveaway, and I'm going to do my little giveaway. So we have the Set Up Your Sales Hub workshop, but we have done ones about client profiles, client results tracking, like so many things. So there's a lot of different options there. So When I pick your name, I'm going to have you email my team or email me on Instagram or message me on Instagram. It's not a perfect science, this giveaway. This is our first live stream doing it. But thank you so much for being here. I love Airtable. My name is Ashley. If we haven't met yet, I have been an Airtable expert for the last like 4 or 5 years now, and I've helped hundreds and hundreds of coaches use Airtable to better strengthen their programs, just make them better, make their operations easier, all of the things. Yeah, this is so beautiful. Okay. All right, y'all. This is me. I'm not looking and I'm just scrolling. Okay, who did it land on? Okay, it landed on Auntie Rick. Yay. Great. So Auntie Rick, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. I'm putting our Instagram in the chat. If you can just reach out to us there, then we will get you all straightened out with a workshop ticket. Beautiful. Y'all, this was so much fun. Thank you for being here. I would love to help you with your Airtable setups. YouTube is awesome. Make sure that you're subscribed to us. But if you have any questions or you want to continue the dialogue, go ahead and reach out to me on Instagram. I'm at Systems Over Stress. You can shoot me a voice memo. That's like the easiest way to stay in touch. And we will talk to you next time. Thank you so much for being here.